Hello, you're watching Access Asia here on France 24. I'm Rochelle Harrison-Pless. Coming up, Pakistan cracks down on organ trafficking. The country has long been a worldwide hub for the illegal trade, with poverty driving desperate people to sell their kidneys for a pittance. Paradise lost to garbage. Thailand's Koh Phangan is a popular holiday destination, but decades of mass tourism means the island is suffering from suffocating pollution. And cheers to China. Increasing numbers of Chinese drinkers are cracking open a bottle of wine. Experts say they'll soon be guzzling more white and red than any other country in the world. Thanks for joining us. Amid poverty and desperation, many people in Pakistan sell their kidneys in order to pay off massive debts, with middlemen pocketing hefty sums after paying donors very little. In April this year, Pakistani authorities busted an organ trafficking ring in the first case of its kind. But the country is up against many challenges if it's to solve the problem. Pakistan has long been a global hub for the illegal organ trade, with clients from all over the world driving demand.
A simple task, but an exhausting one for Bushra Bibi. This Pakistani mother sold one of her kidneys for $1,000 to pay for her father's medical treatment. He passed away, but 12 years later, she's still paying the price for her decision.
I have many problems now. You saw me washing the dishes. I even struggle to sweep. People talk about me when I haven't done my work, but I don't tell them my secret. I gave birth to 5 children. I was in so much pain. Everyone knows the difficulties women face in the last months of pregnancy.
Bushra's story is a common one in this part of rural Punjab, where many see this practice as a way out of poverty. Pakistan has long been a hub for the illegal kidney trade, benefiting both rich locals and foreigners. For many years, authorities were lenient, but that may be changing. In April, federal agents raided an illegal surgery. They arrested 2 doctors, their assistants, 2 Omani nationals receiving the organs, and the middlemen who arranged the transaction.
By this raid, we would like to send a strong message to abroad that Pakistani place and hospitals will no further be the safe havens for transplantation illegally.
Organ transplant is a sensitive issue in Pakistan, both for cultural and religious reasons, and there is no such thing as a transplant list. The law permits donations within a family or from outside only if it's given completely voluntarily and for free. But once there is consent, it's impossible to control whether money was exchanged or not.
Uncle, aunt, they don't want to give. Their daughter or son, they don't want, their cousins don't want to give, donate any organ. Where will that patient, even if he is rich or he is poor, will with that patient go? What does the government of Pakistan is providing them for any relief? We did not provide any relief to that patient till date. Then how can we expect that we will overcome this illegal trade?
Renal failure affects some 25,000 people each year in Pakistan. Only 10% of these patients undergo dialysis, and just over 2% receive a transplant officially. And as long as the transplant procedure remains complex, poor Pakistanis look set to continue selling their organs to meet demand.
Next, Thailand's Koh Phangan is a popular tourist destination and famous for its infamous party scene. But it's an island paradise slowly suffocating under mountains of rubbish. After decades of mass tourism and rapid development, the once pristine island is tackling increasing levels of waste. As Clovis Casali and Olivia Salazar-Winspear report, both locals and NGOs are hoping to turn the tide on pollution.
Midnight on Koh Phangan, and it's time to head to the half-moon party, just one of the events that draw young tourists to this hedonistic paradise. The Thai island's famed for its fabulous beaches and jungle landscape, and some appreciate the scenery more than others.
We spent like 2 hours cleaning up a beach because there's just an insane amount of trash and cigarette butts, and it's just disgusting, and it just builds up so much, and it's really important, I think, to clean it up. Woo!
2 decades of mass tourism have been accompanied by a rise in the use of plastics in Southeast Asia. At the UN's Ocean Summit in June, Bangkok vowed to tackle the problem. Recent reports say that Thailand's among the 5 Asian countries, along with China and Indonesia, that account for 60% of plastic pollution in the world's oceans. In 2016, 3 million tonnes of trash found its way into Thai waters, 12% of which was plastic. Volunteers at NGO Trash Hero regularly take to the beach to collect rubbish. After just an hour on the sand, they've filled up dozens of bags.
The sea is without frontiers, right? And we have so many countries around the Gulf of Thailand also. I mean, just imagine all these big cities, all the coastline.
If you just pick up trash for 15 minutes, you already can make a change. And it's awesome that people realize, that they understand, and also the Thai community gets more and more involved.
In the fight against waste, local authorities have recently installed recycling bins at Thong Sala, the main food market. But it's taking some time to educate people on the issue. The district mayor has come to inspect proceedings.
You can't put it like this. Put it in separate bags.
Okay, next time I will. There's so much rubbish. I need to put it in big bags. There's too much to put in smaller bags. That's why. Okay, but step by step. I can't do everything.
In the tourist sector, things are changing too. Marissa Bright moved to the island 25 years ago when it was little more than a coconut grove with no paved roads and little electricity. She now runs an eco-lodge, using well water, biodegradable materials and, of course, separating waste for recycling. She took a green turn when she realised that as a foreigner on the island, she was part of the problem. She now has a clear message for visitors.
It's really a matter of the tourists understanding, say no to plastic, say no to plastic straws. Come and talk to the locals. It's not all about the party.
With increased awareness about the environmental risks, residents here are striving more than ever to protect this unique natural setting that attracted the tourists in the first place.
In China, the rainbow flag does not fly freely, with the issue of homosexuality still taboo for many people across the country. That said, over the past 2 decades, the Chinese LGBT community has made massive strides in gaining social acceptance. In 1997, homosexuality was no longer illegal, and 4 years later, it was removed from an official list of mental illnesses. Attitudes there are slowly starting to shift, and parents may be leading the way.
All dressed up in their Chinese imperial-themed wedding outfits. Ren Weilian and Zhu Tiantian are as nervous as any couple preparing to exchange vows. China doesn't recognize same-sex unions, but that hasn't stopped some couples tying the knot in informal ceremonies or going overseas where it's legal.
I have thought about going to a country that issues same-sex marriage certificates and getting married there in a couple of years. It might not mean much in China, but for me it's really a big deal.
Taiwan's recent ruling in favor of same-sex marriage has given hope to gay couples that China could someday follow suit. But just coming out can be traumatic, tearing households apart and even sometimes leading to suicides. When Li Tao came out in 2014, it took his mother a year to get over the shock.
He said, "Why won't you accept it?" I said, "Why should I accept it? You're gay. What does that mean?" I said, "Society won't accept it. Everyone thinks that being gay is bad. They're people with psychological problems."
An NGO called PFLAG China, set up in 2008 to support gay people and their parents, helped Li's mother accept him and his partner.
They can't come to terms with themselves and their child. So at that point, you have to bring them into our circle with the other parents of other gay children.
Piao Chuan Mei broke down in tears when her son told her he was gay. She eventually accepted him, and now even volunteers for PFLAG, helping families in crisis. Some call her Big Sister May, while others accuse her of corrupting their kids. Piao's message to parents is simple: you can't change your child's sexual identity.
I want this group to be able to be visible, to be open, so that everyone can see them and see that our world is diverse.
Li Tao married his partner in 2015, and while challenges remain, both say they're optimistic about the future of gay people in China.
Staying in China, experts say the country is the leading wine market of the future. More and more Chinese drinkers are enjoying a tipple, with the expanding middle class quenching their thirst with wine. The rapidly growing demand has seen China set up its own version of the vineyards of Bordeaux. Elizabeth Walsh explains.
Vineyards stretch as far as the eye can see. From the picturesque vines and sprawling chateaux, it could be France. But this vineyard is in China. China, now second only to Spain, is poised to become the world's top wine producer. France is just behind at number 3. The market is currently dominated by large producers, such as Grace Vineyard and Great Wall, but it's expanding. That's thanks in part to a rapidly growing middle class, especially in cities like Shanghai. After a winemaking course in Bordeaux, Zhu Wei has returned to China.
Welcome to Aroma Republic.
Business is booming. He sells 4,000 bottles per month online, with the average price at 40 euros a bottle.
Chinese wine is not so different from imported wine.
China has always been a top wine importer, but now the majority is made at home. Today, Zhu Wei is betting on made in China.
There are a lot of people who think that China does not have good wine. But I think that the stories of Australia, New Zealand, even Chile, who don't even have 30 years of history, they've already produced very good wines.
China's newfound passion for wine is not limited to consumption. Many are interested in taking courses to learn how to better appreciate wine, such as this one that is offered for 900 euros per week.
We let the wine breathe, we smell it, we drink a little. Keep it in your mouth.
I find that a good red wine goes well with good food, and in China we love food.
Young people are a fan of modern and international living. They think that wine is a signature for that lifestyle.
While wine has yet to become a staple on every table, its popularity is growing, and there is no doubt that China could soon become the world's top producer.
And finally, this summer, the humble watermelon has got a makeover in Japan, where so-called luxury fruit is all the rage. Japanese farmers are once again growing and selling square watermelons. They were first grown in a cube shape more than 4 decades ago in order to make the fruit fit in refrigerators. But if these watermelons aren't your run-of-the-mill garden variety, they also don't come cheap, with people forking out $90 a piece. That's it for this edition of Access Asia. Hope you can join us next time. Stay tuned to France 24. More news coming up.
Middle East Matters, presented by Sanam Chantier.
Keep up to date on the latest from the Middle East. We bring you political, economic, and cultural events from the region in this weekly Middle Eastern program.
Middle East Matters on France 24 and France24.com.